This weekly talk about stars and stats.
Stars and stats.
Now, next week we'll be all the way OBS Studios, so we'll be able to put some of these kids on and we'll be able to talk about the videos, talk about what they're doing, and show you at the same time. But this week, before we get started, so that there can be a full understanding of how this whole thing works and everything else.
I'm not recording.
That's cool. We don't have to record.
Go ahead.
The main thing is this. We want to explain the stats and the stars first. What they mean, what they don't mean. Okay? So, there's a lot of people, when we start talking about stats, they get upset because their kid is not listed.
Right.
Or they're listed lower than what they think, right? And what's your basic view on that?
Well, the stars do one thing. The stars get you on the radar for recruiting early. We can't deny that, okay?
That's true.
So if you're on that 247 or all other, organizations that rate, it's at the top of my tongue.
247.
Right. I don't know. It's there, but anyway, it gets you looked at early.
Right.
Recruiting process.
Right.
After that, most college coaches will tell you stars don't mean it. Okay? You're gonna have some runaway players. Now a player that's vetted with 5 stars and he's just breaking records and stuff like that. He's special.
Right.
You can't miss him.
Right.
But when you start getting to those 3 stars and those 4 stars or those 2, there's a bunch of players out there that's much better than these kids.
Absolutely.
It's all about a system. Does the coach trust you? You might have a phenom that's a running back, right? But the school is a passing school.
So then you're talking about stats. So sometimes they can't have the stats because they.
It just depends. That it all falls on the parents, their desires. Are they gonna play in a system like that? So if your kid is a phenom receiver and the quarterback that he's slated to go to that school can throw, will you put him in that system for the next 2 or 3 years?
So, what you're basically telling me is this, and this is what I'm hearing, right? I hear, as you're thinking about high school for your athlete, and you're considering, hey, I might move to get a better academic and athletic situation for my kid, or hey, jobs are better here or there, right? As you're considering those moves, you have to consider the scheme of the team.
Well, here's also, okay, let's just say you have a kid that wants to go and he desires to play college ball. Because you have some kids that don't have that desire, but the parents are pushing it upon them.
Right.
So you got to be realistic. Can this kid play at the next level? Not even D1, D2, JUCO, private school, whatever.
Okay, my whole thing is this.
At the next level.
Let's say our powerhouse. Parents we like to talk about powerhouse.
Then that's another thing. People transferring their kids to these powerhouse programs, and unfortunately, they getting played out of position sometimes because it's a powerhouse. They're almost like a private school because you are loaded at powerhouses.
So there's all kinds of
scenarios.
There's all kinds of scenarios.
All kinds of scenarios.
By going to a powerhouse, you might be sacrificing playing time.
You might be sacrificing playing time. It can work that way in college.
So what do you get from a powerhouse that's so appealing to parents?
Well, I'm going to tell you what you get. They know the recruiters are in the stands. So you have a lot of parents who say, well,
but that's the problem. If my kid's on the bench, how does that help with recruiting?
Because if you're in a powerhouse, the second team plays a lot. Sometimes the second team plays just as much as the first team.
Okay.
And sometimes at a powerhouse, they're that loaded that the second team can start anywhere else. The recruiters see that. The problem that I have with powerhouses is I would never ever allow my child to go to a program like a Powerhouse. I'm not gonna mention no names. We know who the Powerhouses are, and play him out of position. You never ever sacrifice elite talent. And if I'm going there, more than likely I'm elite because they trying to get me there.
Right.
B, I'm trying to get there because I already know it's a high possibility we gonna repeat the state championship or vie to go to the state championship. But I'm not gonna sacrifice my kid for the better of the program and play him out of position, because when it comes to recruiting time and they don't have film on him on the other side of wherever he should be playing, because that's where he played at, and his height, weight, all his physical attributes.
All measurables.
The measurables are there. Power 5. It tells you. You play left tackle, this is what goes on. Now, there are some just elite of the elitists that can bypass that, but it's a very minuscule number.
So to bring it back, really, in the stats and the stars don't really mean anything to the college coaches other than it puts you on their radar.
Put you on the radar. Now, and what they looking for. You might not fit well in a program. And that's what kids come in when it comes to recruiting. I'm not good enough. You just don't, you may not fit in their program. Don't take that as a as something personal.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Since we've talked about basically the stars and stats don't really mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
In our upcoming issues, we'll be inviting people in.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We're gonna talk to some college coaches. We're going to talk to some scouts and recruiters, talk to some trainers, talk to some high school coaches, and see, what their take is on stats and stars. And of course, we're going to have a lot of player interviews and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's time to crank that in as we go into the playoffs.
Right. And we getting ready to do some tests. You want to go into that?
Yeah,
Explain to
absolutely.
that?
I mean, it's time that there's a new movement.
Okay.
How do you know if your kid is good or not? How do you know if your kid compares to anything? Because nationally or statewide or anything.
Right.
Because as we discussed, the stats and the stars don't necessarily mean anything, because at the end of the day, how do I know you wouldn't get 1,000 yards if you wasn't sitting on the bench? Or if they didn't
Right.
only gave you, they giving you 12 touches a game, what if they gave you 30 touches a game?
Right.
How would you do?
Right.
There's no way to really know. But you can start getting some tangibles, right? You know your measurables that they're looking for. Then you can start with the tangibles, like your 40 times. See, and each
vertical.
one, the vertical. Each
Right.
one of those drills that they have the combine is looking for a specific talent, right? And it helps identify where you are within that. So we are approved as a standard athlete testing center, right? And we will be testing athletes on the combine.
Okay.
Giving them a full 5-6 page analysis on their height, weight, how they did the combine,
Wingspan,
handspan, and they'll be able to ascertain where they are, where they could be, and where they will be if they put in a certain amount of work. So we're going to cover those things in our upcoming issue of Stats and Stars.
Okay.
We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to meet a lot of kids. We're going to meet a lot of the people within the community.
Okay. Looking forward to that.
Yep.
And that should be fun.
It will be fun.
And I hope the elite kids take the challenge also. Because I can see sometimes when you bring those things, a lot of kids may not want to do it.
Well, look, I mean, whether or not they want to do it, at the end of the day, 99% of them need to do it.
Right.
Because only the cream of the cream of the cream won't have to do it at all.
Right.
Right? So everybody else has to do it. So why not find out where you're at and train? Because speed is mechanics.
Well,
all these things are mechanics, body memory.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you get, the more time you have,
Right.
the better off you are.
Okay.
And we're gonna be testing kids at 6
So
and 7
we're
years old.
gonna be going out to a lot of different
We're gonna
events.
have a lot of different events.
Right.
We have a big event coming on January 8th. We'll talk about that.
We'll make sure we film it and let you guys see it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's a major event.
The things that we're doing, we do differently. This is not your standard. This is not your regular combine that they do,
Right.
around. This is a professional combine. We're working with Zybex Sports, who does the NFL combines. They do all the college combines.
Olympic trials.
So
Oh, yeah.
this is all state-of-the-art equipment, all state-of-the-art analysis.
Right.
This is the real deal.
Right.
So,
Hey, so we're gonna go ahead and end it on that. We just wanted to give y'all a little overview of what's about to start happening, and this will help you understand why we always say numbers don't lie, people do. Peace.